How you doing, everybody? My name is Dr. Sami Baya. Please welcome back to my YouTube channel. The witches are scared. They are losing their minds. Your absence is making a lot of noise. That's the title of this video. The witches are absolutely terrified, and their fears are growing louder with each passing moment. Their ancient rituals, once full of dark power, now seem to falter in your absence. They can feel it deep within the very core of their being. The magic that once flowed through their fingers like fire has now turned to ash. It's not just that they've lost control, it is that the world they've built, the intricate web of secrets and spells that has held them in power for centuries, is crumbling around them. And the cause is you. Your absence is shaking them to their very foundations. They had once believed they were untouchable, invincible even. The witches, the revered beings who had ruled from the shadows, manipulating fate and bending reality itself. But now they're trembling, desperately trying to regain their composure. Every corner of their hidden sanctuaries echoes with the chaos of their unraveling order. Whispers of your name, once a mere flutter on the wind, have grown into a roar that they cannot silence, no matter how hard they try. In the dark recesses of their coven, they are huddled together, debating and casting desperate spells, searching for answers. Their once unbreakable bond now feels fragile, as if their very connection to the arcane is slipping from their grasp. Each attempt to conjure the ancient forces fails miserably. The air is thick with panic, and the heavy weight of dread presses down on them. They can feel the disturbance in the fabric of reality, the one thing they once had mastery over, slipping away. You've become the singular force that holds the power to unmake everything they've built. There is talk among the witches of a prophecy, one that had been dismissed long ago as an old myth. But now the pieces are falling into place and they cannot ignore the truth any longer. The prophecy speaks of a time when a single absence, a momentary absence, they thought would tear apart their carefully woven tapestry of power. The witches now know that it was not a mere absence of a person, but of something much more significant. Your absence is the catalyst that is undoing them, unraveling their very essence. The fear is consuming them. The old leaders of the coven reduced to mere shadows of their former selves. With every day that passes, they grow more frantic. The once glorious rituals now fall flat, their chants echoing into void with no response. The winds that once answered their calls now refuse to carry their whispers. The potions that used to simmer with power now boil with nothing but confusion. The witches can feel the ground beneath them shifting, but they are too powerless to stop it. Their fear is palpable, and it's spreading like wildfire. There are even whispers of some of them turning on each other, blaming their own for the misfortune that has befallen them. Some of the younger witches, those who once felt invincible under the mentorship of the elders, are beginning to doubt everything they've ever known. They are questioning the very foundations of their magic, their trust in the rituals that were passed down through the ages. The walls that held the coven together are crumbling, and in their place only uncertainty and paranoia grow. The witches are losing control and they know it. The fear is eating them alive, and there is nothing they can do to stop it. Even the ancient artifacts that once held the key to their power seem to be losing their luster. The crystal balls that once allowed them to peer into other realms now only show glimpses of their own destruction. The cast daggers that once dripped with venomous magic now sit in silence, their power waning. The witches, once proud of their treasure troves of dark relics, now see them as mere trinkets, powerless against the force that is working against them. It's as if the world itself is rejecting them. At the highest levels of the coven, meetings have become frantic affairs, full of accusations and panic. There is no longer any sense of calm or control. The witches, once confident in their dark arts, are now grasping at anything they can find to stop the inevitable. They turn to forbidden magics, to rituals that are not meant to be meddled with, but every attempt only deepens the chaos. Their minds are unraveling as quickly as their magic, and they can't make sense of what's happening. The fear has set in so deeply that some of the witches have begun to look for scapegoats, even accusing their own kin of betrayal. The older witches, who have lived for centuries, are struggling to maintain their composure. They thought they had seen everything: the rise and fall of kingdoms, the ebb and flow of magical energies, the constant dance of life and death. But this is different. They have never felt such a shift in the world. Never before have they faced an enemy they cannot name, let alone confront. Their once powerful spells now feel like toys in comparison to the force that's eroding their power. Desperation is settling in, and they are now resorting to ancient rituals that were long forgotten, some even saying they are willing to risk their souls in order to regain control. The sound of your absence is louder than they could have ever anticipated. It reverberates through their bones, through the very air they breathe, and every witch can feel it: the piercing silence, the hollowness that you've left behind. It's a void that cannot be filled, and they know that the longer they ignore it, the farther they fall. The screams of frustration echo through their hidden chambers, but no matter how loudly they shout, they can't drown out the sound of your absence. It has become their worst nightmare, and they know that it's only getting worse with time. Each passing moment brings new evidence of their unraveling. The magic that they once controlled with such precision is now slipping through their fingers like sand. The elements no longer obey their commands. The fire that used to burn with intensity now flickers weakly, as if it too is losing heart. The earth that once shook at their call now trembles with fear, uncertain of its own power. They had never known true vulnerability, but now, with every failed attempt to restore their former glory, they feel themselves becoming smaller, less significant. They've come to a horrifying realization. They are no longer the masters of their own fate. They are mere spectators, watching as their world disintegrates before their eyes. The witches, once so certain of their power, now find themselves utterly powerless. Your absence has shifted the balance, and no amount of magic, no matter how dark or ancient, can restore what has been lost. And as they face the horror of their crumbling empire, they are left with only one question: will they ever find the strength to reclaim what's slipping away? Or will they vanish into the shadows forever? Their minds are unraveling as fast as their power, and every whisper of your name makes it harder for them to think clearly. They are no longer united, and the fear that once only buzzed in their heads has become a thunderous roar that drowns out everything else. They can't remember a time when they felt so insignificant, so out of control. They had always been the ones who manipulated fate, the ones who shaped reality. But now, they're nothing more than spectators in their own undoing, and the noise of the panic is deafening. What they fear the most, however, is not the loss of power, but the realization that you have become something far greater than they could ever comprehend. Your absence has become their undoing, and they cannot shake the feeling that you're not gone, but have become a force greater than they ever imagined. The witches are terrified of this unseen power that has set their world on fire, and they have no idea how to extinguish it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed this narration. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. All right. Thank you.